All right, y'all. So, two things I want to address before we get to the review. Number one, obviously, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So, hopefully, you guys have a wonderful, safe, prosperous, and phenomenal Thanksgiving. Even if you're not celebrating the holiday, it's like a regular Thursday in your eyes. Hopefully, it's all good and dandy. Number two, I got the heater in the background. It's that time of year again where it gets cold up here. So, gotta stay warm while I'm making these videos. But anyways, this was the first AEW following Full Gear. I thought this was actually a really good episode. You had the debut of this newly tournament called the Continental Classic, and tonight was the first night. You had Swerve Strickland taking on Jay Lethal in a solid match. Swerve Strickland was insanely over, to where Jay Lethal was getting booed. Swerve Strickland got the win. Early on in the show, you had Roos take on Jay White. And I thought this was a pretty good match. Jay White obviously getting the win there, um, which it's kind of be expected though. Um, I'll get to the main event in a minute, but also on the show you had Tony Storm's championship acceptance speech. Tony Storm obviously, with the continuation, you know, ultimately winning the world championship. With this character and this story, obviously, and of course, Mariah May by her side. Now, you heard from Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the world champion, and Adam Cole was there as well. And, they were talking about the pay per view and all that stuff, and, how MJF is, glad that his boy is with him. And Adam Cole was talking about how, he's still got a long way to go, but he's going to bust his what, and he's gonna come back stronger than ever. Samoa Joe came out. Samoa Joe was like, "Hey, remember our deal, Max?" So Max didn't want to do it. He was like, "I'm not no, like I've beaten you before. I'm not about to fight you again." But then Adam Cole was like, "No, dude, like Max, that's the old Max. Um, the new Max would stand up to Samoa Joe and beat him just like he did the last time." And Max was like, "You're right." So at AEW World's End, it's gonna be Samoa Joe and MJF Part Two for the AEW World Championship, and what MJF calls it, the most magical place in the world, because World's End is taking place in Long Island, New York. Okay, so Orange Cassidy, Hook, Katsura Sabata, and we saw the return of Danhausen. He's been out with an injury, and they took on Daddy Magic, Cool Hand, and Jake Hager. I thought this was a pretty entertaining tag match for the most part. The babyface got the win. There's really nothing more to say about it. You had Ruby Soho take on Sky Blue and Anna Jay. The match was kind of mid, to be honest with you. The story at hand here was cool. Angelo Parker and Ruby Soho and this Romeo and Juliet type. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you all. Looking at this and seeing the two teams arguing back and forth because of them, it really reminded me of Romeo and Juliet. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. uh, but Sky Blue got the win, so she was able to get that momentum and her win back from Full Gear. But I just thought the match from this point in ring was just kind of mid. Uh, Christian Cage, man, this segment with Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne was, oh man, this was wild, man. Christian told Luchasaurus to get on a knee. Luchasaurus ain't even Luchasaurus anymore. He's called Kill Switch, which is Christian's finisher. Uh, and then he praised Nick Wayne. He blamed the match on Luchasaurus. So Luchasaurus is the reason that they lost the match. And then Nick Wayne's mom came out, and you know where this was leading to. And then one thing led to another. Christian was about to hit her with, concerto her. And then freaking, like, I'm not going to go word for word what was said. But all in all, at the end of the day, like, before crazy shit was getting ready to go down, Christian, former friend in his eyes, Edge came out, and he actually concertoed Nick Wayne, and his mother was right there. So this Edge literally committed low-key mass murder on a kid in front of his mother, in front of millions of people, technically thousands of people, depending on how many people tune in for the episode. But a lot of people, nonetheless. So, like I said, this segment was wild. I would definitely tell you to go check it out if you're into that kind of stuff. But it was, I mean, Jon Moxley took on Mark Briscoe in the main event. This was really hard hitting affair, first time ever. Jon Moxley got the win, but Mark Briscoe put on a really good effort, and that was the show tonight. And like I said, overall. I thought this was a really good episode coming off of Full Gear, so I had no real problems with it. Yeah, we'll see what happens next. The Continental Classic continues, and